Hi, my name's Nicole, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about something called a Must See Monday, which is an event that the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication puts on almost every week for students and other guests who are interested. Basically, they bring in journalists and other professionals to talk on specific areas of journalism or other topics that students might be interested in. So last night I actually went to a Must See Monday. It's been one of the many that I've attended. This specific Must See Monday was called the Best in Business Investigations. So they had James Steele, who's half of the Pulitzer Prize winning reporting duo, Bartlett and Steele, and him as well as the 2014 Bartlett Steele Award winners came in and discussed the best aspects of investigative journalism and talked a little bit about their awards that they received, how they received their awards based on which stories they were awarded for. So the winners of the awards, there are three. There's the gold, the silver, and the bronze. The gold award winner this year was Michael Grabel for his piece called Templand, which was written for ProPublica. It basically explored the harsh realities that temp workers are actually have compared to other workers that was never really discussed or addressed. So basically, Michael went and did a whole investigative piece. He followed these workers in Chicago at 4 in the morning and basically showed about this alley, followed them to a warehouse, which he then found out was a Thai corporation, which makes Beanie Babies and everything. And they were using these people to staff as temp agents, and covered a lot of things about the harsh realities of these workers and what they have to go through, some resulting in even death. So it was a really cool piece. And then the second award winner was the Silver Award, which was Megan Toohey from Reuters, and her piece was called The Child Exchange. So basically, she just uncovered the black market for adoption that actually went around the normal legal way to adopt that nobody really had any idea about unless you were looking for it. So she basically realized that some people who had adopted and decided they didn't want to have these children anymore, they would go and post online and on these forums and say, I don't want this child anymore. Anybody who is interested, they're obedient, they're etc. And then they would just hand them off down the road, which there would be no background checks. There would be nothing to make sure that these children were going into the hands of responsible people. And then the bronze winner was, it's one piece called Hospice Incorporated, but there were two writers. So Ben Hallman and Shane Shiflett. I might be butchering their names because Shane wasn't there. He had a bat incident, apparently. Side story. But his story was written for the Huffington Post. And it basically scratched at this question of why hospice representatives are so interested in ill persons who don't have very long to live, because a hospice is supposed to help people rehabilitate and go through that process and put them back on their feet. And so he basically dug into this and found out that these last gasp patients, as they're otherwise referred to as, were actually sought after by hospice representatives so that they could balance their data for those who were in their facilities, who they were able to rehabilitate and get back on their feet quickly, because on paper, in the eyes of Medicare and things that give them funding, they don't receive funding unless they have a certain number of these last gasp patients, basically. So they needed that in order to reap the benefits of Medicare, and it just exposed a whole new corrupt issue. Basically, all of the winners overall, and Steele as well, gave a little insight into how to be a better reporter and talk about those dangling issues, those dangling questions that stay in your mind when you're reporting on something. So that was really cool to see. For anybody who hasn't gone to a Must See Monday or has no idea what they are, I would definitely suggest going to them. They're always insightful. These professionals take time out of their lives to come in and talk about the experiences that they had going through their career, which us as undergraduates will probably have to face. So I think it's important to take full advantage of what advice they have to offer.